right. Rep your city, rep your city. Shout out to everybody on Twitch, on Represent Chicago, everybody on Kick, everybody on YouTube, and both of my Facebook accounts. I am representing the Windy City, Big Rack, Chicago, Illinois. We got the beautiful and lovely Kathy over here representing Shreveport. We got Fresno in the building. We got Atlanta, Georgia in the building. We got the lovely Arnell in the business with her smart self, well educated. She representing New Orleans. We got Houston, Texas in the building with my brother Telephone. What up, Femu? Positive energy all the time. We got Orlando in the house. I know y'all mad that YouTube messed y'all names up like that, huh? I know y'all big mad. We got my brothers on the road in Merced, California. We got Washington in the building. Hi, Marianne. Cutie pie. Oh, boy. We got Minnesota in the building. I was on the phone with my daughter. She said, "What you doing, Dad?" I said, "I'm at Starbucks getting some coffee." "Dad, you're not supposed to buy nothing," she said. Oops. She was big mad. She said, "Dad, you're not supposed to buy nothing. You're supposed to black out." She said, She said, "Oh, I can't stand you." That's what she said. Can you believe? She said, "Oh, I can't stand you." What kind of way is that to talk to your father? She talking about, "You so hard-headed. And I know you know about it," she said. She said, "I know you know about it too, Dad. You see all of this stuff. You're not supposed to be spending no money with them." That's what she said. She want me to do the blackout. I don't feel like blacking out. Yeah, I don't feel like blacking out. I ain't gonna talk about it till it's over though. But I support y'all. I support it. I'm not hating on it. I want to hate on it, but I'm not. So I think I'm doing good. I think I'm doing well. I'm trying to stay out the way. We'll get into that later. I didn't want to say, I had a whole live stream where I was going to say something. And I said, nah, that's not my nature. If they trying to do something, just kind of stay out the way. So I'm trying to stay out the way. So for y'all that's blacking out, black on out. I support y'all blacking out. I'm kind of, sort of. Shout out to all the people out there in London, all my people, the cutie pie Gina, in Las Vegas. Look at you. Yeah, you said I could spin local, but that's another whole story. In a big city like this, the black businesses don't necessarily be local. So in other words, if you live on the west side, there's not necessarily a black coffee shop there. So you would have to Google map and drive how far. We talk about that. Maybe I'll talk about that too. This concept of black businesses is, black businesses ain't really popping like that. To be honest with you, there is no black business that have what we can get from Walmart, what we can get from Target, what we can get from Walgreens, what we can get from CVS. If you want to keep it honest, there are no black fast food restaurants. You know what I'm saying? Think about it. For those people that do eat, I don't eat fast food. Well, I will eat plant-based fast food every now and then. Where's that at? If a mother want to get sandwiches for their children, where's the black replacement for McDonald's and Burger King and Kentucky Fried Chicken and Popeyes? Where's the black version? You see what I'm saying? So for us to just say support black businesses, where's the build black businesses, start black business movement? Because I can't support nothing you don't start. But that's neither here nor there. I might get in trouble with that conversation. Right now, I'm already going to get in trouble with this conversation. So let me get on one group of people's nerves at a time, will you? Nobody likes me, and that's okay because I don't like y'all anyway. Let me get on. Let me listen. Let me get on one group of people nerves at a time, okay? I didn't even go live, I already got on my daughter's nerves. You know what I mean? So as I said, daughter, I got a text from one of them. There's three of them. Just got a text from the other one. Yep. So come on in. I'm gonna get this conversation popping. So my daughter was mad because she said I'm supposed to do the blackout. I'm pro-black, because I'm kind of like. So I got a lot of white friends. I got some beautiful, great white friends at Starbucks. They are happy about my support. They can help them keep their jobs. They're young white college students working at Starbucks. They ain't got nothing to do with slavery. They ain't got nothing to do with oppression. They struggling to make it in the real world. I don't know about on the internet world, but in the real world, you know what I'm saying? I support the young people that got to work at Starbucks. If I boycott Starbucks, I help poor, struggling students. Just got to get that little bit of money so they can buy their little lunch and stuff like that. It's a lot to this. Everything's not black and white. Everything ain't been black and white since the color TV came out. But isn't that a story? I'm not supposed to say that. But everything is not black and white. And, them my people. They, you know what I'm saying? My friends, I got young white friends at Starbucks. If my car broke down and I was walking, and any of them young people at that Starbucks see me, they would pull over and pick me up. That's a fact. Because I'm so charming and nice to everybody. I don't really do color like that. I don't really do that like that. I think black people, the black people that really hung up on color, and the whites that's hung up on color, I think they live limited lives. They don't have a wide experience. When I lived in Hawaii, I would meet, whites out there in Hawaii, and they would hang out and they say, man, everything they said about black people is all wrong. I can't believe it. I said, yeah, bro, they just stereotyped. I mean, you know, but hi to all my friends at Starbucks. I love y'all. They go over and beyond for me. For real. There's one dude there. He's a European dude. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't seen him in a while. But he might have quit. But I was going over there all the time, and he was like, "You really should get the app. You're losing money. You could get free points and stuff." I didn't do it. I kept coming about a month, 6 weeks later. He's like, "Why don't you get the app, bro?" So I went and got the app. He's right. You know what I'm saying? It's been saving a little bit of money. But you didn't have to tell me that. Why is he trying to help me? You see what I'm saying? Cool dude. I think he was gay. I think he's gay, but I don't know. I didn't ask him, but I don't care. I got gay friends too. I just mind my business, basically. So today I'm talking about Pan Africans. Oh, Pan Africans is a little weird. What sparked this one? I would say a lot of this is sparked by Sarah Sudan Seti. I was subscribed to Sarah Sudan Seti. That's my brother. I had to unsubscribe, and I was watching him a couple of days ago, maybe about a week now, and out of nowhere, he just brought up Tyreek, and he brought up Tyreek, and he brought up Tyreek's museum, and he did it in a sarcastic, negative way. He didn't do it in a positive way. He did it in a feminine pocket watching type of way. And to me it was like I felt psychologically that he's kind of been forced to support FBA mostly for views on YouTube, but he really don't like it. That's how it came out. Like he's a phony. So it came out like deep down inside, FBA is stepping on his Pan Africanism. So he lashed out on the brother, said, he just broke a lot of codes. You know what I'm saying? First, by bringing up the brother's name when the brother ain't bring up his name. Second, by hating on the brother's business. Right? Third, by kind of throwing FBA in there in our reparations movement. I ain't like that. So I unsubscribed and I kind of been kicking him a little bit on YouTube. I ain't like it. Because he been saying some pro-Pan-African stuff for a long time. But lately he been saying some pro-FBA stuff. And for him just to out the blue, just to bring up the brother like that and got the brother's name all in his mouth, I ain't like that. So now when his name in my mouth, he acting like it's the end of the world. See, people don't stay with the rules. If you could bring up dude in his museum, I could bring up you. Now, when I bring up you, now it's the end of the world. I'm only bringing up Sarah Soon Seti because he brought up Tyreek. He's not dissing me bluntly. His feelings is hurt. His feelings is hurt. I don't watch that, but he had the right to diss me because I kind of went kind of hard. So, don't be mad at him. You could follow him again, don't hold that against him. He had a right to diss me. I'm not like him. I brought him up. He got a right to diss me because I dissed him. So I don't feel like he's breaking no rules by dissing me. I don't feel like he's breaking rules by dissing me, but I think he's foul if he don't want to consider that the only reason I dissed him because he disrespected FBA and Tyreek in the museum. That's it. If he would have kept Tyreek's name out of his mouth, his name would have been kept out of my mouth. Basically. I went kind of hard. I told everybody, he was using the George Foreman grill on Instagram and all that, I kind of hit him below the belt. You know what I mean? I got hit him below the belt, because I was following him on Instagram and he had a George Foreman grill with some lunch meat in there, and I hit him up. I'm like, bro, what did you eat? And he like, you right, OG. You know what I'm saying? And I kind of brought that back up. I know that hurt, like, ouch, You know what I'm saying? And then the fact that he'd been over there gossiping, I was tolerating him because, a man of that stature, with being a historian stuff, when I started seeing him talking about what, rapper gossip just to get views on, YouTube, I kind of tolerate him because he just like saying anything for views now. He ain't sticking with, he'll be all talking about some, rapper TMZ type gossip. Then he try to flip back to some consciousness. I'm like, what? You know what I'm saying? He like all over the place. I respected it because I know he probably got bills to pay. He probably got a spouse he got to take care. He got to make money. So on YouTube, trying to make money. But, for him to bring up Tyreek like that in the museum, I didn't like that. You know what I'm saying? My thing is this. If the brother got a museum trying to do something, players, real G's out here, we ain't going to speak on that. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna speak on that. So said he showed feminine qualities when he started gossiping about this man's business. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it don't matter. They can't really start nothing. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta understand, man, they can't really start nothing because I don't buy into it. You know what I'm saying? So you really can't start nothing. You know what I mean? I'm really that. I'm really a G. I'm not emotional over that stuff. I'm just defending Tyreek in his museum. You know what I mean? That's all. Keep his name out your mouth and you'll be all right. You know what I'm saying? But I can't break the same rules I want him to keep and jump in it and say something about him and then get mad because he's saying something back. You know what I mean? I can't get mad because he said something back because I don't care. That's like Jesus Christ arguing with God. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. You understand? Oh, wrong word. Wrong word. So, But that got a lot to do with this because he been barking, Pan Africa, and he never went to Africa. And I'm wondering when is Sarasu said he gonna pan his ass to Africa. Because right now he's a fake Pan African, basically. He's not a true Pan African. You know, it's got to be some new rules. How long can you talk Pan Africanism before you got to go to Africa? We're going to have to give some rules. Like, okay, we give you 7 years to bark about Africa. And then if you don't go, you got to shut up. Don't nobody want to keep hearing you talking about Pan Africanism, but you never pan your ass to Africa. Like, bruh, go to Africa. Because you ain't doing no good over here. You know what I'm saying? So to me, he's a fake Pan African. Now, said he say that Pan Africans ain't got to go to Africa. That's why I say some of these brothers, and he's a young dude to me, he don't even know the concepts of Pan Africanism. The concept of Pan Africanism is not just so-called descendants from Africa, just talking about Africa. The concept is repatriation. Under the Pan-Africanism concept, repatriation is a must. Repatriation is what? To return, the return of someone to their own country is the principles of Pan-Africanism. So then, you know, he's some comedic, but big Rasta, I know them things. See me, I'm really universal. I'm really that. I know I know the Hebrew, everything. Rasta tell you, Africa for the Africans, repatriation is a must. Rasta is the dominant knowledge in the West about Pan-Africanism. Marcus Garvey was a Jamaican. Jamaica is the headquarters of Pan-Africanism, period. America is the headquarters of Black Power, and Black is beautiful. I did a live on that already. Go watch it. The Rasta man is the king of Pan-Africanism, not Seti, not no bald boy. And I see. The Rasta man, the Rasta concept is the forefront concept of Pan-Africanism. These are facts. Back when Seti was buying bubble gum, right? He a little boy. He jumping into something. He don't know nothing of the principles and concept of Pan-Africanism. He telling people that Pan-Africanism don't mean you got to go to Africa. Giving people false information. See, right there, you lose some of your scholarship. Okay, I understand. I understand. You're in the 8th grade, you're ready to go to high school, but you're gonna have to repeat the 8th grade, Sadie. We can't send you to high school yet. You know, some little boy stuff. Because there ain't no Pan-Africanism without repatriation. Don't exist. So, I mean, he could talk about me and send people over here and they can listen to what he say, and then they're going to listen to what I say. And then a lot of them going to be like, you know, said he's right. The ones that don't, you know, all they going to do is come and learn something. You understand? Pan-Africanism is based off of, right? So I left Chicago what? And I left Chicago in 1981 on my way to Africa. because that's the principles. And the reason I didn't go to Africa is because an angel came to me one day and said, if you go to Africa and you find out something happened to Black Americans, how would you feel? And so I said, I'm coming back because I did not want to leave y'all. I'm not going to Africa and leaving foundational Black Americans over here. Whatever going to happen to the 50 million of us, then let it be what it be. I'm not running to Africa. Let me tell you something. The Pan-African concept when it came to America, after you get out the 80s and when you start getting to the 2000s, they wasn't pushing Pan-African like Rasta. They wasn't pushing the Pan-African concept of go back and build up Africa. When you get to SETI and them generation, they pushing Pan-Africanism like punks. Run to Africa so don't nothing happen to you over here. So they made it a coward movement. So their idea is you need to leave, you need to run to Africa before the Europeans get you over here. That's what Pan-Africanism is today, right? Real talk. He don't want to have this debate, he'll lose. So Pan-Africanism today, under the Sarah Seti and his group, is about going to Africa because things are going bad for you here. Things are going bad for you here. We need to go back home. Right? So why are you bringing up FBA and Tariq? Because reparations make things go good for us and we don't got to run back to Africa. This is what psychologically, right? Y'all listen? This is the psychological reason why Pan-Africans don't like reparations. This is the reason Dr. Umar said, don't give it to us, we're going to mess the money up, while he begging for money. So Dr. Umar said he took our money to build schools, but then when it was time to ask to give us some money, Dr. Umar said, don't give us reparations, we're going to mess the money up. The same people that we mess money up with him. I'm going to show you how foul Dr. Umar is. Foundational Black Americans sent Dr. Umar money for his school. When it came to asking, should we get our reparations, he said, no, we're going to mess the money up. He said the same people that spent the money in a righteous way and sent it to him to open a school for our children, he said we're going to mess the money up. Dr. Umar didn't have the decency enough to say, this is what he should have said. Yes, give them reparations because Black Americans have supported my school. And if you give them the money, they're going to do good things. That's what he should have said. Instead, he said, don't give it to us. Why? Because he's a Cuban. Because he's a Cuban. Farrakhan is not a foundational Black American. He's Caribbean. What Farrakhan said back then don't count. Today, Farrakhan cannot speak on foundational Black Americans at all because he's not a foundational Black American. So this is why, right? This is why Pan-Africans don't like FBA. Pan-Africans don't like foundational Black Americans because they don't like the idea of us being able to do well over here, because if we do well over here, we ain't going to Africa. The new principle with SETI and them groups, Sarah Seti, his group, because he the general of that next generation. Their generation is pushing Pan-Africanism out of fear to run to Africa because nothing's going to go good for you over here. Although nothing's going good for Blacks in Africa. And Africans are coming this way. So imagine you in America and all these Africans coming this way and somebody telling you, you need to run that way because it's better. If Pan-Africanism, if going to Africa is better, why are Africans drowning on boats trying to escape to Italy and Greece and Europe? If Africa is if this is legitimate, because the concept of Pan-Africanism is a fake concept because there is no Africa, and reparations is for our benefit, and repatriation is not to Africa. So Marcus Garvey had it wrong too, because repatriation is not returning to a continent. Repatriation is returning to where? The return of someone to their own country. What country do we come from in Africa? We don't know. You can't say return to Africa because North Africa ain't African. North African is Arabs and Turks and all of them. Gaddafi wasn't no African. Pan-Africans liked Gaddafi. I never liked Gaddafi because Gaddafi is not an African. Gaddafi is an invader. But fake revolutionary Pan-Africans, they love Gaddafi. I never liked him. He never belonged there. I don't like him. He's not an African. But he's up there in Libya controlling all that oil that the black people in Africa should be living off of. And it's going to all them foreign people up there. Gaddafi's son's daughter threw hot scalding water on an Ethiopian woman, scalded her. Sure did. Sure did. His son's wife. So Pan-Africans are totally fraudulent, including Sarah Susetti. He is a fake, fraudulent Pan-African because he ain't never panned his ass to Africa. When is he going to go to Africa? Because we don't want anybody over here that's not focusing on the business at hand over here. If your mind is in Africa, he need what they say, free your mind and your ass will follow. He needs to free his mind to Africa and let his ass follow him to Africa. He needs to go to Africa. Tell Seti, Pharaoh said, he is worthless over here. As long as any part of his mind is in Africa, he's worthless. Tell him I said that. As long as any of his mind is in Africa, he is worthless. And he's not a general. He's just a dude. Okay? Yeah, all of them never want the best for us. They only want to keep us sleeping a certain type of way for their own self-manipulation. When we start delineating, the haters came up. When we start delineating, the people, the Pan-Africans like Sarah said, he didn't like it. They don't like that. Because for one, they be hustling like that. You understand? And that goes for Smalls too. So somebody said, what about Smalls? What about, when you ask me about Professor Smalls, you know what I'm going to ask you? I'm going to ask you a simple question. Which Smalls? Because Smalls started insinuating that somebody is a CIA, right? Right? He started insinuating that somebody's a CIA, right? He can get this work too. He started insinuating that somebody was a CIA. But let me tell you something about an agent. An agent keeps changing. They changing. So an agent 1 minute gon' come like a Rasta. Gon' grow some dreadlocks and infiltrate that vibe. Then the agent, boom, he gonna get a different look. Okay? Then boom, the agent, he gonna go into Islam. Right? Then boom, the agent, he gonna be a Pan-African. He gonna be a Pan-African, then he gonna be a Muslim, then he gonna be a regular whatever. Okay. So while he insinuating that Tariq is an agent, this is the look of an agent that keep reinventing themselves. You understand? In case he wants some of this smoke. In case he wants. Now, as far as Seti being a general, if you're a general, you're not following young Pharaoh. For Seti to follow young Pharaoh, that means he ain't no general. You're a follower. So Sarasun Seti let young Pharaoh ruin his whole. You know why Seti's a nobody now? Because he started running around behind young Pharaoh and disrespecting the Nation of Islam and talking crazy about Elijah Muhammad and all that and got canceled. Because once he ran behind young Pharaoh went crazy. And so Seti's supposed to be a general. He followed behind a little boy because at that time, young Pharaoh was young Pharaoh. He was a little boy. And this general started running around with the little boy. The little boy pulled Seti into a big beef with the Nation of Islam. I called both of them. Told Seti, stand down. What is you doing? When I called back, he didn't answer the phone. How you a general and you was following a little boy that had no rank and file? Young Pharaoh didn't have no rank and file. A general leads, right? General Sarasun said he run around. Then young Pharaoh went crazy. And when young Pharaoh went crazy, we ain't hear from Seti for a long time. Why? Because he was ruined. He not no general because the general not following young Pharaoh. He didn't dominate that situation with young Pharaoh. He followed Pharaoh. Pharaoh got out there and was bigger than Seti. That's a fact. Young Pharaoh got out there and was an overnight sensation and was more popular than Seti, and Seti started following the little boy. Shout out to young Pharaoh, because he used to be hitting me up and stuff like that. But then when he got all crazy and was doing all kind of crazy stuff with all them women, right? Then what's happening? I mean, this is what's up, Kwame. The whole thing is like this. You're supposed to watch stuff you like. You know what I'm saying? Now, I appreciate you coming over here because they probably ran some commercials when you clicked on it, and I made a little money. But this is what you do. You come back tomorrow. Come back tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Because one thing I'm too old for is to listen to you, bro. What's your name? He said I'm too old. I'm too old to listen to you because that's not your name either. Your name is not Kwame. Your name is James Robinson or something. I'm really Big Pharaoh El-Aton. That's my real name. So go change your slave name, Kwame, right? Eat right. Get on a plant-based way of eating, right? Grow out your natural hair. Then holla at me. You know what I'm saying? Then holla at Big Pharaoh. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, Kwame, holla at me. You know what I'm saying? Because one thing I'm too old for is to listen to you. That's for sure. I'm definitely too old to listen to some name that might not be real on YouTube. What I think about Polite was a scam artist from the very beginning. And so I never knew it. Polite is an African. Polite not no foundational Black American. But Polite had issues when it comes to his desires when it comes to women. He had women problems. You know what I'm saying? Because he had been around Dr. York. Okay? So a young Polite was around Dr. York, and Dr. York was doing what to girls and boys? I'm not saying he did nothing to Polite, but I can't say he didn't. I'm just saying. You understand? So Polite probably got messed up when he was young. You know what I'm saying? All of them was little boys to me because I'm really the king of this. Like, as far as getting on social media on your own platform and talking, I was doing this before anybody. Seti and all them was running the Sonetta. I always been over here on Pharaoh Said That. I've been over here, you know what I'm saying? I never ran behind nobody. I'm really a boss. So all of this content creators and stuff, I'm like one of the founders of content creators. Think about it. What Seti doing right now, he following me. Getting his own channel. Who did that first? I did that years. Listen, what Seti doing now, he following me. When he was running around debating and running behind Sonetta to get on there, I was already on my own channel. Yep, I did thumbs ups and thumbs down, but the reason I stopped doing it is because I didn't like giving brothers and sisters thumbs down. I liked giving thumbs up, but I thought it was like, it wasn't really cool to give nobody a thumbs down, so that's why I stopped doing it. Because I just didn't be wanting to give brothers and sisters the thumbs down. So I was like, I don't like the thumbs down part. Because when I started, I was giving everybody thumbs up. So it felt good. Yeah, remember I was over there with Sign Reggie. Remember what I told him? When they asked me what I am, I told them I'm a shooter. Go back and watch it. Because they was trying to play. And then Sonetta came to Chicago and kept calling me. I didn't go meet with him because I ain't on that. You know what I'm saying? I'm reformed. I'm not on the type of time I was on at a certain period in my life. I reformed. There was a time in my life I would have definitely went to see Sonetta when he got to the city. Me and like, you know what I'm saying? But I'm reformed. I'm not on that. I'm not on that. I'm reformed. I'm just on some positive stuff. You know what I mean? I ain't on that with them. I stay away from troublemakers and people like that. Young people. When you see people that like controversy and stuff, stay away from it. I'm only talking about Pharaoh Seti to teach, not to beef with him. To teach. You are, and to teach him a lesson. He never should have mentioned Tariq in his museum. He was foul for that. He was out of line. He was pocket watching another man, and he was hating. Tariq have never mentioned his name. He out of line on the streets in any community. Pharaoh Seti is out of line because he brought up a brother that never mentioned him, never, and then brought up the brother's business in a negative way. I'm dealing with Tariq based on hidden colors and him help formulating the term foundational Black Americans. Anything past that ain't none of my business. It's not none of my business. I don't do gossip and all that. I'm not getting into his personal business. That way, when I meet him, it's all above board. What's up, bro? You doing good work? Boom, ain't nothing phony. Because his personal business ain't none of my business. The only thing is my business is what I got from him that was beneficial. That's it. And I appreciate him for that. So I really don't like Seti because I appreciate Tariq so much for hidden colors. Because there was some little GDs told me about Tariq. A GD told me about Tariq. Facts. Years ago. Back when we was on MySpace. A GD was like, as one of the dudes rap with me. He like, you seen Hidden Colors? I'm like, no, what's that? He said, you got to get Hidden Colors, Joe. So when I was on MySpace, I seen the dude advertising Hidden Colors, and it was Tariq, and I started following him on MySpace. But I wouldn't have never knew Hidden Colors if Gang them didn't tell me. So from that point, I've always had the utmost respect for Tariq. And the only time I kind of got funny is when we had ADOS and I was supporting ADOS. And when he came out with FBA, I was kind of like getting ready to start dissing him and stuff. Kind of like, but why would you come up with a separate movement? That's my history with Tariq. That's the only time I kind of was like thinking about going against Tariq. But the problem was the sister that started ADOS, she don't have the temperament to be no leader. She too cranky. And then she too cranky. And then when I looked at foundational Black Americans and I looked at American descendants of slavery, I'm like, I'm not doing slavery. I'm not riding with the title slavery. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I rode with foundational Black Americans. It's stronger. It make more sense. I'm not no descendant of slavery. That's not my title. We was in slavery, but we're not descendants of slavery. I'm the descendants of my great, 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 great grandparents. What is she talking about? What? You know what I'm saying? I'm not no descendant of no damn slavery. So that title is the worst title ever. ADOS, that's a horrible title. They jealous because he raised 1.5 million online. Yeah, but what here go the thing though? The only reason he raised 1.5 million is because he got hidden colors. Because he put the work in. The only reason Tariq is famous is because of hidden colors. And hidden colors is real work. Dr. Smalls is on there like 4 times already, finna be on season 6. And Tariq now got to go re-edit and take him out the museum and all that. So it's like street media TV. A street media TV out here doing stuff, giving information about the Black community. Boom. Now, if he go do something in his personal life that ain't in order, that ain't none of my business. Only thing is my business is what did street media TV do for the community? That's it. That's it. I remember the Mac lessons too, but what can I say? You know what I'm saying? What can I say about the Mac lessons? We all go through changes. You know, when you get my book, you understand. I was super duper conscious. I was super duper Black conscious. I can't judge nobody. I was super duper Black conscious. I mean, I can't judge nobody. I was super duper Black conscious. I was super duper Black conscious. I got stabbed up. I got out the hospital. I learned how to walk. And I turned to a demon. And then I had to work my way back to this. So, you could judge me too. Because, yeah, I was packing and I was slinging. I was slanging and banging. Facts. That's absolute fact. And that's why I don't beef because I really ain't got all that out of my system. You understand? So that's why I beeped. That's why I said he cool with me. Because if not, see what I'm saying? He not, he can't go over where I go. He can't go where I go. Let's just leave it like that. He can't go where I go with it. He always been on some black conscious, black revolutionary stuff. That way he always, I've been other places, because I had PTSD, you know what I'm saying? And I had to, it took me a while to get back. You know what I'm saying? I want to stay right here. I don't want to go back here. See what I'm saying? So that's why I don't be beefing because I turned back to this dude. I'm just saying. So that's why I don't be beefing. That's why I won't beef with Seti because I'm turning back. This is out his league. You know what I'm saying? On the phone, that's out his league. You know what I'm saying? This out his league. I'm trying to stay over on the positive side. I'm not trying to go over on the dark side with my brother. That's my brother Seti, but he out of line though. So I'm just showing y'all them pictures. Say I can't judge nobody. That's what my book is about. The different what I went through, how I woo woo woo. You know what I'm saying? My life was here, and then here. This is where I'm at right now. My life was super righteous, then super wicked, and then I'm right here. And I'm not trying to let nobody push me over this side. Hopefully one day I could get over there. I don't think so. I think I'm gonna stay half and half. But I try to stay in the positive zone. But when I was over here, my associates is still here. And we just leave that like that. My associations didn't go nowhere. I'm still him when I go on the west side. You know what I'm saying? I'm still him. I'm really big Pharaoh, like on the phone. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So y'all, that's why I'm over here smiling. That's why I'm on some, I'm on some positive. I don't, I might, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But the point of this conversation is that, Pan-Africans, they got one foot over here and they man in Africa. And as foundational Black Americans, we need people whose whole man is over here. You know what I'm saying? We need people whose man is here. Pan-Africans that don't go to Africa are worthless because their mind and their mouth is in Africa, but their body over here. You know what I'm saying? Y'all good, Rasta, man. You know what I mean? So the Pan-African concept is not a good concept. That's why I had to give it up. I was a Pan-African. Most people, real talk, y'all listen to me. Most people, right, that was Pan-Africans like I was, right? This is the honest to God truth. Most people that was Pan-Africans like I was, and this is me as a baby, this is me in 1979, right? This is probably 1979, 1980, right? I'm giving y'all the facts. Most people like me when they put that much energy into Pan-Africanism, right? Even when they see that there's changes need to be made, they don't want to make the changes because they didn't put too much in. Especially when you got somebody like SETI that done made all them videos and he's selling them videos. Him and Professor Smalls, they economically invested in Pan-Africanism. So anything goes against Pan-Africanism helps them economically. All of them videos that on SETI's Patreon, if we pushing FBA, nobody want to watch that. Nobody care. So if you begin to push FBA, like me, I got a channel called From Kemet to Chicago. But the more I'm invested in reparations in this, really the less I want to kick that channel off. I'll be honest, because I'm not going to really enjoy talking about that stuff, because I'm going to feel like I could be talking about better issues that can help foundational Black Americans while I'm talking about what happened in Egypt 15 billion years ago. So I really don't think I'm going to launch that channel. I think I'm going to go change that channel to something else, because I got a lot of people subscribe to that channel, but I'm just not feeling it. I done lost interest in ancient history. I mean, right? Yeah, I knew Raymond. I knew the people at the I performed there at the Institute of Positive Education. They was from the Institute of Positive Education. I used to perform there. That's why I wrote the song "Everything You See Is Black." Yeah, I know them, brethren. All my elders that was into Pan-Africanism passed away, and nothing ever was accomplished. All the older Pan-Africans I know, they passed away for nothing, really. The Pan-Africanism never did nothing for them. Bunny Wailer had a farm in Africa, lost it. Rita Marley was in Africa, got sick, couldn't get her medicine, had to come back. I can go on and on. My buddy JJ went to Africa. He went to Senegal, drank some water, came back to the United States, had a worm in him that was like 9 or 7 feet long. In the hospital, we think JJ finna pass away. Every time they tried to pull a worm off, it would break. So if it's like 5 feet and they pull out 3 feet, it break, and the 2 feet be there, and the 2 feet would grow back to 5 feet. All because he should have drank Coca-Cola and he drank the water. You can't drink that water over there. See, a lot of people don't understand that. Now let me give y'all some knowledge, real knowledge. Now, the number one reason that many of us never went to Africa, this is fact, in the late 70s and the 80s. I'm giving y'all some real history, right? This is history that people like SETI, they don't know this history. The reason because they changed now. Yeah, you have to drink Coca-Cola because it's in a can and it's safe. But if you drink the water comes from them dirty streams and dirty rivers. You understand? So you had to drink canned soda to ensure you don't get no parasites. But here go the thing. It's more than that, Robin. But here go the thing. You know why we never went to Africa in the late 70s and 80s? I'm in the United States, right? And I'm talking revolutionary talk. You see me? I'm talking revolutionary talk. See how I'm dressed and everything? I didn't change my name from a slave name. I got dreadlocks. I'm pushing revolutionary talk, right? I go buy my ticket to go to Africa. In those days, guess what though? You had to go and you had to get shots. So y'all answer this question. If you was a revolutionary talking revolution, right? If you was a revolutionary talking revolution, would you go and get shots to go to Africa? Would you go to the same system that you're speaking against and let them give you a shot? Because say the shot I got to get is shot 249. I come in there, they run my file. Oh, here, revolutionary. And they give me shot 259. They don't give me 249. They give me 259. So if you're a revolutionary and you're talking against a system, are you going to go and take a shot to go to Africa? Anybody could tell you to go to Africa in the 70s and the 80s, you had to get a vaccination. That's why many of us didn't go. Because we claiming we leaving a man and then we're going to go to that man to get the shot? No, I'm not ex-military. My dad was in the military. I was a revolutionary. I was my own military. I was military. I was a militant. I'm a Fred Hampton baby. I'm born in 1958, right? I'm born in 1958. You start getting some type of consciousness what's going on when you get about 7 or 8, right? So when I'm 7, it's 1965, right? If I'm 7 years old in Chicago, it's 1965. What am I seeing? Quasi will tell you. Quasi, what was we seeing when we were 7 to 8 years old? Quasi will tell you when we were 7 to 8 years old. What was we seeing? You see what I mean? We growing up under Black Power. Basically, we baby militants. Basically, that's what we seeing. 7 years old. You know what I'm saying? 7 years old. That's what we seeing. We sing and say it loud. I'm black and I'm proud. You know what I mean? From a baby. I'm born in the struggle. You understand? I'm born in the struggle as a baby. Said he a little boy, he came later. He ain't born in the struggle. He born in scholars, talkers, scholars, lectures. You know what I'm saying? He ain't born in the struggle. You feel me? Not really. I'm a Black Power baby. You know what I'm saying? That's my whole life. From a shorty, this is me. This is me. These records, I bought these records when I was a shorty. This Last Poets, Gil Scott Heron. Gil Scott Heron and the Last Poets is in this collections here. This one I'm listening to as a kid, high school, 7th grade. You understand? Wasn't no Back to Africa. It was Black Power. Black is beautiful. Back to Africa didn't come till SETI and them. That's some new nonsense. Back to Africa passed away with Marcus Garvey way back in the 40s. By the time you get to the 60s, ain't no Back to Africa. It's said loud, I'm black and I'm proud, too black, too strong, stuff like that. It's a black thing, you wouldn't understand it, stuff like that. Black is beautiful, that. Pan-Africanism is new. That came up through reggae. Go watch my video about that. I just did a video a couple of videos back. I explained to you when Pan-Africanism started. By the time Pan-Africanism really got hot, I was already grown. I was raised under Black is Beautiful. I was raised under FBA concept. I was raised under FBA concept. I wasn't raised under this new stuff. Go watch the video. I broke that all down. I broke it down to the T. That the Black is Beautiful movement was really the FBA movement. They just hadn't named it that yet. Pan-Africanism came from Winnie Mandela, Roots on TV, and reggae. Pan-African in the United States and these modern times come from reggae music. That's a fact. Said he's a little boy, so he wasn't here. He wasn't here in the late 70s and early 80s when reggae brought Pan-Africanism here. Pan-Africanism was brought here by reggae. And my generation, me and Kwesi, we didn't do Pan-Africanism. We did Black is Beautiful, Black and I'm Proud. These is all facts. These are all facts. We didn't do Pan-Africanism. We was born under FBA concept. Fred Hampton and all them represented FBA concept. Huey P. Newton and all them, Malcolm, they represented the FBA concept. As a matter of fact, If Malcolm would have kept his mouth shut and stayed out of Africa, he would have stayed alive. When Malcolm went to Africa, that's when they put the tail on him. That's when the CIA put the tail on him. These are facts. So young revolutionaries like us, we seen that. When Malcolm came back from Africa, who ran up on him? CBS. CBS ran up on him straight back from Africa. What did you see in Africa? What's going on with you and Elijah Muhammad? He started talking. Elijah ain't this. Elijah to CBS, to some Jewish dudes. Talk. Okay? See, Seti and them look up to Malcolm X. My generation, we don't look up to Malcolm. We look at Malcolm's mistakes. He was a baby. He didn't see Malcolm drop the ball. Malcolm dropped the ball. Malcolm was out of line. First, why you gossiping about the minister and who he's sleeping with? Revolutionaries don't gossip. Malcolm X ain't all that. We respect what he was doing, but Malcolm X went out like a sucker. That's a fact. Gossiping. Man, it's none of your business who the minister's sleeping with. I'm telling you the facts. We're not against the Africans. We're not against the Africans. Okay? Pan-Africanism, Africans don't teach Pan-Africanism. This is not against Africans. This is against foundational Black American Pan-Africans and Black immigrants over here doing Pan like Umar. This ain't against Africans because Africans ain't Pan-Africans. Africans are not Pan-Africans. This is not anti-African. This is anti-people like Seti, people like Dr. Umar. That's who this is against. This video is against brothers over here hollering Africa and never leave. Go your ass to Africa. You can't stay over here talking about Africa, Africa, Africa 1 year, Africa 10 years, Africa, Africa, Africa 20 years, 30 years, Africa, Africa, Africa. But you don't go to Africa, but you're over here constantly talking about Africa. So you ain't helping us. You in the way. At what point is Seti going to focus on Detroit and focus on us? And if he want to keep talking about Africa, then he need to go to Africa because he keep talking about Egypt, but Africans don't even run Kemet. Arabs run Kemet. Look, let's take a break. Let's take a break. This that G talk, and then we'll finish. Look on everything I love. I was on my way to Africa in the early 80s, 83, right? Y'all listen to this. This is real truth. I was on my way to Africa. Facts. I was on my way to Africa. I was going to go around the other way, right? I was on my way to Africa. I'm on the big island in the mountains growing, right? An angel come to me and say, when you get to Africa, right? An angel come to me out in the middle of the South Pacific in Hawaii, right? Just real talk. This is me. I'm on my way to Africa already. An angel came to me and said, when you get to Africa, if you turn on the news and you find out that they unalived Black Americans, how would you feel? And at that point, I said, I'm going back. Because I would not be comfortable in Africa if something happened to y'all. I said, I'm going back. I said, I'm going back. Then I had a vision that I was on this big old wide street. It was bricks and stuff, like stones, like it had been riots. And you know how you got like the streets where it's three big main streets, like in Chicago, like 79th and Stony, where the White Castles is at. It was a big street like that, but you couldn't see no building. It was rocks everywhere. And it was these big old trucks. And I was out there with some Black people back here in the United States. All my hair was gray, right? So I know that time's coming. No, all this was gray. I didn't have no dark nothing. And I had a pot sitting on some of them stones showing them how we cooked up in the mountains in Hawaii, teaching them how to cook outside because now they ain't got no electricity or nothing. I remember they was waiting on the water truck, and there was these big old trucks going back and forth with big wheels. And I remember that they was waiting for their water to be dropped off with them Blacks. I was back in the United States. And I had that vision. And that vision gonna come true. And so Pan-Africanism was over for me right there. When I had to make a decision to run like a coward, because I felt like I was on some coward stuff. I tell you something else too. I tell you another reason I didn't go to Africa. Everything I'm saying is facts. My concept to go to Africa was built off of the concept of running. Facts. The concept was a concept of running. I didn't know that at the time, but that's what it was. I lived outside. All these other dudes you a city boy, said he. Stay in a city boy place. I lived outside for like 4 years, 3-4 years outside under a green tarp growing in the jungles. No electricity, no lights, lanterns, oil lanterns, kerosene, outside. This is me right here, real gorilla. Now, no dude sitting around Detroit running your mouth, really outside in the jungles. This is where I lived at. It's called Glenwood. Look it up. The next subdivision is Volcano. The next subdivision where I live was Volcano, and we would go up there and go to my boy house and watch Killer Whale, the volcano go off. Because it's like if you hear and you looking at and you hear and you're looking at the volcano here, the volcano's on the edge and this go down. So the lava not gonna come, the lava is not gonna come this way. The lava gonna go down. So we standing here looking at it. You feel me? So I'm in the jungles, right? I'm in the jungles. So I'm in the jungles, y'all. And airplanes is constantly flying over my head. Mind you, I'm only 20. I'm only, let me see, 83. So what? 58, 68, 78, 81. I'm only 24 years old. I'm 24 years old. I'm living in the jungles. I'm growing herb. You see all this herb over my shoulder? I'm getting money too. Yeah, I'm growing big ganja man, you know. Big man. That's me in the back, and that's my other soldier, my brother that I met, and I met him in the 7th grade. You call Hawaii a jungle. Let me tell you something. You don't know nothing about Hawaii. Hawaii got, you thinking about Waikiki. That's on Oahu. You got Oahu, you got Kauai, you got Maui, and you got the Big Island. Okay, bro? The Big Island is a jungle. Before you be, sometimes it's good to listen and learn, bro. It's good to listen and learn. I was in the jungle. This don't look like the jungle. I was in a tropical rainforest. Right? So I'm going to show everybody else because we got people don't know nothing. You see? This is Hawaii. You see the big one? It's the Big Island. You see them 2 circles? That's the volcano. It's 2 volcanoes on the Big Island. The Big Island is primitive. He thinking about Oahu, Hawaii 5-0. He thinking about the one, you see Oahu? That's what he think about. Honolulu, that's what he thinking about. What's his name? World Traveler. He ain't no world traveler. Because if he been to the Big Island, he would know what I'm talking about. The Big Island is tropical rainforest and definitely is the jungle. For sure. Especially Glenwood and Volcano. Facts. All right. So I'm on this big one right here. Right? Come back tomorrow, bro. I'm on this big one, right? Right? So I'm up in the jungle and airplanes flying over my head. There's nobody hardly live up there. It's airplanes flying. That's when I realized, when I look in the sky and see all these airplanes and helicopters, that's when I realized you can't run. You can't run from America because America's in the sky. So when you leave here, go to Africa, say you're trying to get away from here, how you going to get away from here when they got satellite surveillance and they flying over you? On top of all of that, let's keep it $1 billion. If I'm in Chicago and there's a whole bunch of white Americans, Asian Americans, Black Americans, versus I'm in Africa and I'm around a whole bunch of Black Africans, if the Babylon system, right, wanted to drop poison gas, would they drop it in Chicago or would they drop it in Africa? If they wanted to fly over and poison, would they poison a city in America where whites is at, where you living right close to whites? Or would they poison you where you're surrounded by Blacks? Which one would get poisoned from the air? Put it in the chat. The Maui Wowie grow on Maui. I was growing Kona buds. You got Kauai Electric on the island of Kauai. Each island had their own strain. So I was growing Kona buds, and I was growing African strains. I was growing Ruderalis and hash buds from South Africa. From hold on. Hold on. I was growing. Let me get the map so I could. Let me look at the map. Where's the African map? Really got to. Maybe I could see it. Right here. Right here. Right. Which one of these is going to show me the country? I was growing buds from Swaziland. I was growing buds from Swaziland, where the white dudes would go over here to Swaziland, which is right here, right over South Africa to your right. And the white dudes would go over there and steal these royal seeds from the kings because they wouldn't let you take their seeds. And the white dudes would go hide them in their surfboards, the surfers, and bring it to Hawaii. So we was growing ruderalis. I was growing it's three types of herb: ruderalis, sativa, and indica. I was growing all three, and I was blending them together, and I was mixing my sativa with my indica, and I was coming up with a strain called Maui Wowie. Called Tahitian Treat, because my next stop was Tahiti. So we were supposed to leave Hawaii, go to Tahiti, was the plan. So the plan was to leave Hawaii, go to Tahiti, right? Hold on. The plan was to leave Hawaii, go to Tahiti, hold on. The plan was to leave Hawaii, go to Tahiti, leave Tahiti, I'll give y'all the whole backdrop. Leave Tahiti and then go over to India and China, then come up in East Africa. So the plan was to leave Tahiti, right? Go to China, down to India, and then into Ethiopia and Kemet, because I wanted to come in East Africa. I didn't want to go from Chicago to New York and land in West Africa. I wanted to go around the other way because I'm a shorty, my mind way out, and I'm like, I'm gonna go gather all the knowledge back up. So I'm finna go because I feel like all the knowledge is in China and India and East Africa, Kemet and all that. You know, you be thinking way out. So the plan was, the next step was Tahiti, because when we was in Hawaii, we had a bunch of foundational Black Americans and other Blacks, and we put scouts together. We put scouts together, and we sent 2 here, 2 there, 2 there. So we sent a brother and sister. We sent a brother and sister to Fiji, but Fiji wasn't the place to go because it was blacks there and they was cool. They said we could come. They said all we need to do is make sure we got enough money so we can get boats and bring all our, generators and stuff like that. But the problem is Fiji got a bunch of islands, and some of the islands got cannibals, right? But they African people though. But some of the islands in Fiji got cannibals. But see, Tahiti was controlled by the French, but Tahiti got islands that no people don't be on, and you could walk up and you could touch the birds. They won't fly off. So the next stop was going to be Tahiti, then China, then India, then East Africa. That was our plan. But like I said, an angel came to me and said, when I make it to Africa and I found out something happened to foundational Black Americans, at that time, Black Americans, how would I feel? And then I said, I couldn't do it because I felt like I was running. And I feel like a lot of Pan-Africans is running. And I feel like their philosophy is a coward philosophy because it's like we need to run to Africa so don't nothing happen to us over here. And that ain't revolutionary. That ain't militant. So anytime you're willing to run to Africa because you feel like something going to happen to you over here, but you leave your mama, you leave your auntie, you leave your uncles, you leave all your children, how you a revolutionary when you run into Africa? And the principles of going to Africa is running. That is a fact. Everybody, if you talk to them long enough, that believe we should go to Africa, they're going to give you some concept of running. They're going to say some kind of way how it's better there than here because something going to happen over here. Cowards. Running. Basically. So me talking about going to Africa is out the question. I got 6 children. My children got children. I got all type of relatives in Alabama. I got all type of relatives everywhere. So you telling me I'm supposed to run to Africa, leave my sister, leave my nephews, leave my children, leave my grandchildren to run to Africa around some Africans that don't even like you? Chucky passed away. Chucky got deported. Chucky got deported. All the Jamaicans started getting deported. Buff got deported. Chucky got deported. Yeah. They all got deported. All these Africans and all these people over here, they're going to get deported. Yeah, they got deported. Buff did records for me and everything. Made beats and everything for me. They all got deported. Yeah. My brethren Chucky Isaiah passed away. Look, I'm not just any Black American. I'm really top ambassador for Black Americans. Facts. I'm big ambassador. Rest in peace to my brethren Chucky. Now that's good. That's good so I can give him a rest in peace. And to show people I'm really him. I was a baby going around them. These is my elders that was teaching me. I've been doing this since I was a baby. These is facts. I've been on what I've been on since I was a baby. Said he probably was the embryo. It's a fact. He probably was the embryo. You understand? So I decided to come back. You know what I mean? See, I've been doing this since then, when nobody knew what dreadlocks was, when nobody knew what vegetarian was, when nobody even using the word vegan. You understand? And so up in the mountains, the planes was flying over me. And that's when I realized I couldn't escape. Go to Africa for what? That's when my concept grew and I realized the whole world is Babylon. Them people in the space already. So I know you ain't trying to get away from them. They got satellites. They got jets and helicopters. So as a revolutionary, I started thinking, if I go to Africa, I'm asking to get eliminated. If, let me pick some other people, because this is something, right? If I'm in Mexico, me and 10 people, and we hear that some Mexicans want to come and spray us up, should we go stand off by ourselves, or should we stand close to a bunch of Mexicans? See what I'm saying? So now my concept changed. I need to stay close to white people because separating makes it easier to eliminate you. It's easier for you to get eliminated in Africa than here. You understand? So that's why I said this ain't even safe me going over there. When I kept seeing the planes flying over my head. You feel me? I kept seeing them planes flying over my head. And I'm like, man, I'm not, ain't no need of me running to Africa. Then I had a vision that they did something to y'all. And I'm like, listen, that's when I developed a new philosophy. You know what my repatriation philosophy is? Let's say if all black people wanted to go, was going back to Africa. Way when I was a shorty, I developed this saying. If all black people go back to Africa, I want to be the last one get on the plane. I'm going to make sure everybody else get out first. I made that up when I was in my young 20s. That I'm going to make sure everybody else gets to safety first. I ain't running to no Africa like no coward. If said he wanted to run to Africa, to me, he a coward. Because they not going to Africa for nothing decent. They running to Africa. Pan-Africans is running to Africa. The whole concept is built based on fear. Talk to any Pan-African and he gonna push or she gonna push fear. That you need to go to Africa because something gonna happen to you. Cowards. And 99% of Pan-Africans ain't never going to Africa. Ever. I've been doing this. I've been dealing with Pan-Africanism just as long as said he been alive. That's a fact. My dread's finna be 48 years old. Oh my soul. Oh my soul. My dread's gonna be 48 years old. I've been a vegan 48 years in February. I've been a vegan. Next year, when New Year's come, I'll be a vegan 48 years. Said he probably 50. He was 2 when I stopped eating meat. Boy, you a little boy, you better stay in a little boy place. Oh my soul. Let me give you some more knowledge about elders. Elders. They keep saying elders, elders, elders. Let me tell you something. Y'all don't know nothing about elders. An elder born in the 40s and the 30s ain't like no elder born in 58. I'm not that elder. I talked about that, and I'm kind of talking about that now. I'm not that elder. I'm not the 1940 elder. I'm born in 1958. I'm a different elder. I was outside with gang them when I was 50 on the phone. Listen, if I go to jail in Chicago right now, the county jail, they going to bring me on the deck. They going to run up and say, what you is? I'm going to say I'm a four-corner hustler. They going to take me to the guys. On my soul. Facts. I'm going to say I'm a foe. I'm a solid foe. They're going to take me to the guys. I'm going to be boss on everything. I'm not your daddy, and I'm not them. I'm not that type of elder. I'm a very dangerous elder. Know that. I'm not. So each elder different. You young brothers, when y'all get elders, y'all ain't gonna be like y'all granddaddy. Larry Hoover and them 70. You think you could play with them? Y'all don't listen to that elder stuff. Elder stuff gonna get you hurt. Don't listen to that elder stuff. Let's take a break. Let me tell you something. Like I'm giving y'all a lot today. Like, let's take Fred Hampton Jr. Fred Hampton Jr. ain't no soldier under his daddy like me. Because when that happened to Fred and Fred Hampton Jr.'s mama, when his father got unalive, he was a baby. Fred Hampton was my leader as a young black man growing up. Chairman Fred now, he was just a baby. He wasn't no revolutionary like me because he was a baby. I was a revolutionary when that happened. That revolutionary concept was happening already. Because the 60s, I'm born 1958, and the 60s was a lot of tension. So 68, I'm 10 years old. I'm picking up all that. So by the time I get in like ninth grade, I'm listening to Last Poets and Gil Scott. I'm already on that. And that whole generation like that. Why do you think George Clinton, what they were saying? One nation under a group, revolutionary music, but people didn't know what he was saying. You understand? So I don't come up under Pan-Africanism. I come up under Black power, and Black is beautiful. I don't come up under Pan-Africanism when it came out. By the time Pan-African, I'm in my 20s when Pan-Africanism comes. And I picked up Pan-Africanism, but it didn't pan out. It turned out to be a false concept. Pan-Africanism never went nowhere because Pan-Africanism was a concept that never got upgraded because there's no such place as Africa. You understand? But at that time, when they made up Pan-Africanism, they didn't know as much as we know now. We know more than them. So when they made up Pan-Africanism, they was doing the best they can. But now we know there's no such place as Africa. Now we know Africans ain't Africans. They don't consider themselves Africans. They do not call themselves Africans. When you meet a brother, he Nigerian. He Ethiopian. He Ghanaian. He's Senegalese. They're not Africans. They are delineated. And Africa is a continent. And repatriation is to a country. Repatriation is not to a continent. Repatriation is the return of someone to their country. So true repatriation would be us to go to where our country of origin, and we don't know our country of origin. So how can we repatriate to Africa? Especially consider some of us been here already. Some of us is indigenous Black Americans. Some of us, like me, is both. I'm ancient Ethiopian Kemetic, and I'm Sioux. Because my father's side was representing Africa. My mother's side was representing Africa and Native American. Come back tomorrow and watch me some more. You understand? My mother's a Sioux. My grandmother's Sioux, her husband was African. So somebody like Kemet TV, he never gonna go to Kemet. He just Kemet TV, but Kemet TV 91, he ain't never going to Kemet. How he Kemet TV? Arabs run Kemet. Think about it. He called himself Kemet TV. Ain't no Kemet. It's called Egypt. Ain't no Kemet. There is no Kemet because you don't run nothing. And then people change the name and they call it Egypt. There is no Kemet. That's a fact. Kemet is what it used to be called. So Kemet TV is bootleg. It should be Egyptian TV. That's a fact. Kemet TV is bootleg. There's no Kemet. And he's not going to go and take over Egypt and change the name to Kemet. He's just talking. Egypt got one of the biggest armies in Africa. These are facts. All facts. A lot of brothers ain't gonna like what I'm saying because all they bootleg beliefs is shot. I'm tearing up their bootleg beliefs. So they don't like this. They don't like what I'm saying. But they really can't do nothing about it. They just wasting their time. I'm destroying their bootleg beliefs. So they angry. But there's no Kemet. Where? Where is there a Kemet? Where? A lot of them brothers, they wasting their life. That's all they doing. Wasting their life. That's it. Talk about some fake stuff. They not gonna like me because guess what? I'm ruining their little thing. The black man named Abraham Kemet since they got rid of Sadat. This is the last pharaoh. Don't know. Seti them don't want no. I'll dog Seti in a debate. I'll dog him. This is out of his league. Because what happens is when you got knowledge and you get stuck in a certain belief system, you limit it. So his knowledge is limited. He's not no match for me. He would never post this. This the last black pharaoh. And since then, who run Kemet? It's Egypt now. And if you go to so-called Kemet, right? If you go to so-called Kemet, right? Guess who run everything? Guess who gonna take you to see your stuff? Guess who's over there stealing your stuff? Guess who's in Kemet digging up your ancestors? You the general said he go over there and fight for them to stop digging up your ancestors. General. You're more like General Mills. The only general you is. You better go eat some cookies or eat some cereal. Because you ain't stepping on nothing like that. Them people over there run it. Right now, the Egyptians want to go to war with Ethiopia because Ethiopia built that dam. And them Arab Egyptians want to go to war with those black Ethiopians. Let's see if the general gonna go over there and fight. Or is he just a general hollering about Kemet on YouTube? You know what I'm saying? He ain't no general. He ain't running nothing but his mouth. General what? What's your rank and file? Who's your army? Who's your military? That's just a nonsense. And that ain't even your real name. Your name is something else. It's not his legal name. It's not his legal name. My name really Pharaoh El-Aton. He got another name. His name Blount or something like that. His name ain't no Sarusu. That ain't his name. He still got a slave name. He still got a slave name. He ain't even standing on the principles that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Malcolm and our teachers was on to go change your name. He ain't even do that. He constantly criticized Elijah. Elijah changed how many people's name. He still got a slave name, trying to call himself Seti. That ain't your name. His name Blunt or something like that. His name Elliot Blunt. That's his name. He ain't no damn Sarah Sudan, no Sadie. He not like Big Pharaoh. This his name right here. This who he is. His name Elliot. Okay. My name Pharaoh. I got rid of my slave name as a shorty. His name Elliot. His name, he not that. He ain't even standing on the principles of Malcolm. The reason Malcolm got an X is because you put an X on there till you change your name. So you X out your slave name. Then you go change your name. That man ain't changed his name. His name Elliot. Elliot Blunt. That's his name. If we get pulled over, boom. They're going to look at him. They're going to look at my name. They're going to say Pharaoh El-Aton. I'm going to say El-Aton. They're like, okay, El-Aton. They're going to look at his name, Elliot Blunt. Real talk. Look, I was solo for Dolo. I'll tell y'all some history. I was solo for Dolo. I got locked up in the county jail. So when I got locked up in the county jail, they said, what's your name? I said, my name Pharaoh, right? So everybody like, Pharaoh. So one day, it was my time to go to court. They came and said, Pharaoh El-Aton or El-Aton? I said, El-Aton. So the guy say, yo, Joe, that's your real name? Your real name is Pharaoh? I'm like, yeah. They said, oh, we thought that was just your nickname. Now remember, I'm Dolo. I'm a hustler. I'm looking at 8 to 20 years. I'm not in no gang. I am the gang. And we the one, we big. Let's just leave that like that. That'll you'll see in my book. So the name Pharaoh in the pyramids is plugged real heavy with the vice lords and the Blackstones. So the vice lords and the Blackstones run up on me. They're like, your real name, Pharaoh? They start showing me their pyramids and their tattoos and all that. That's how I end up plugged in with them. That's how I end up plugged in with the vice lords and the Four Corner Hustlers. I didn't go to join them. They put me in it because of my name. And anybody know the vice lords got like a bunch of different types. They let me pick which one I want to be. Nobody do that. And I was a boss because I knew too many people in there, including the guards. I went to school. You know what I'm saying? I was a boss. Like, okay, I could put money on you, on your head. You know what I'm saying? I talk about that in my book. There's certain positions in the street that's higher than the gangs. And the people at the top that's serving the whole city got the highest rank. You understand? So if you live in this area and your name Eddie Mo, I can go to my guys and say, hey man, some dude Eddie Mo tripping. Where he live at? He live over there. They gonna call Big Franco over there. That's the one get all the work. Big Franco. Some dude over there named Eddie Mo giving my man Pharaoh a hard time. Eddie Mo, you mean little Eddie Mo over there? Yeah, I'ma holler at him. Because you gotta understand the top is above the gangs. You know what the top is? The top is above the gangs. Just so y'all know some knowledge, the top is above the gangs. All the money comes from the top down to the gangs. And the bosses at the top can find anybody because it's a boss here, a boss there, 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 like that. So every neighborhood you live in, there's a boss that's plugged to the top, and you could be found if you mess with somebody that's plugged in with a boss. Right. The plug is above the streets. Yes. It can find anybody. And that keeps a lot of drama down because they're going to tell whoever call it in your area, and they're going to call you in and say, hey, you was messing with this dude. All right, leave him alone. You understand? And that's whether you're an elder or not. You could be a shorty, but if you up under, if you're a shorty and you know dude that's getting all the work in and you having a problem with another shorty, that's going to get squashed. And when you go to certain events here in Chicago, all the top members is there together. Because I used to get on their case and be like, the shorties out here gangbanging, y'all in there drinking champagne together. The leader of the Vice Lords, the leader of the GDs, the leader of the Blackstones, they be at the clubs together. And they said, Pharaoh, we can't stop them shorties because out there trying to monitor the shorties going to get us a RICO. On the side note, the reason the gang leaders can't stop the gangs because if the police see them trying to discipline the gangs, they're going to catch a RICO. So they have to stay away from the gangs. Just in case you wonder why leadership can't do nothing. Leadership can't go around them. If I go around some gang members, disciplining them and getting them in line so that they won't be destroying the community, the police going to take them pictures of me around them. They're going to give me a RICO. And I'm helping. They don't care. These are facts. If it's a gang somewhere and they're hurting a lot of young kids and stuff, first off, you can't discipline the gangs with talk. You have to use violence. So you can't, when it comes, because people say, why y'all don't do about the gangs? You can't talk to the gangs. Discipline in the gang world is with violence. So you come to the county jail or you come to one of these prisons and we tell you do this and do that. And if you don't do it, guess what happens? Because we make you an offer you can't refuse. It's like when your mama tell you don't do something, you do it and you get spanking, right? You get a spanking, okay. The chiefs and the gangs, we like your mama. We treat you just like your mama. Go wash your butt so you don't be walking around here stinking. Don't be picking on your brother and sister or you're going to get a spanking. But then if we give you the spanking, we get the RICO. We get the RICO. So that's why the shorties is out of land. Because don't nobody want to get no RICO trying to keep them in order. On the side note, I be teaching a lot of stuff. You got to watch me. You can learn a lot of lessons in my conversations. I don't stay on topic necessarily. Depending on where we're going, we just flow with it. On that life right there. I'm just letting y'all know I've been in various lives. What year RICO started? RICO started way back with Al Capone and them. RICO started back with Al Capone and Bugs Moran and you know what I'm saying? Lucky Luciano and them. They started that. They had to figure out a way how they can get the whole crew. You understand? So in terms of Pan-Africanism, you know, if you're in the United States, Pan-Africanism is bogus. You need to be trying to figure out what we're going to do for our people here. You need to be trying to make the U.S. a better place for your nieces, your nephews, your children, your grandchildren. You know, I got to worry about my grandson. I can't leave my grandson over here. Pan-Africanism is out of the question. And there's no such thing as Pan-Africanism because Africans ain't Africans. whatever tribe they are, whatever country they from. The concept of Pan-Africanism was made up at a time where brothers didn't know no better. Garvey and them didn't know no better. We know better. We know that 50 million Black Americans cannot help Africa. Period. There's 200 million Nigerians. Black Americans, you can't even help Nigeria. In terms of Black Americans moving to Africa, if you didn't all go in one place, you'd be powerless. You'll just dissipate. This idea of Pan-Africanism was made before we had the level of intelligence we got now. They didn't have internet. They didn't have all of that. We know all of that now. We know the numbers. We know it's 3,000 tribes in Africa. Garvey and them didn't know that. There are 3,000 tribes in Africa. Since the days of Marcus Garvey, Arabs have taken over even more. You can do nothing to help Africa. What you can do is focus here, focus on foundational Black Americans and make things better here. You brothers that's from other places that's here, y'all better lock in with foundational Black Americans. Because the fact that you came in from the Caribbean and Africa, you didn't lock up for us, Trump and them finna throw you out. Listen, to all my brothers, let me tell you something. Trump finna throw you out. Blacks that came here that did not lock in with foundational Black Americans, they should have came here. The men should have had babies with our women. The women should have had babies with our men, and you would have been here legally. Facts. You should have came here. You should have interbreeded with us. The African brothers came here and wanted to sleep with our women, but they didn't want us to sleep with their women. So we didn't like them. Why would we like you when you want to come, you want to sleep with our women to get citizenship and then go back and get your woman and then dump our women? I know 3 women, Black American women, that married Nigerians and Nigerians scammed them. Married them, waited so long, went to Africa and bought their real wife back. One of my friends, she married an African. They went to bed and had sex, and when she woke up the next morning, he was gone. She never seen him again. Facts. He just married her for a green card. And Pan-Africans is helping that by not teaching our people nothing. How you want to go to Africa and live with the Africans when the Africans in America don't mess with you? Africans in the United States do not deal with Pharaoh Seti. They're not gonna do nothing for him. They're not gonna do nothing for him. They don't like him. Africans do not like Pharaoh Seti. We got a couple cool brothers, don't get me wrong, but I'm talking about overall. I ain't talking about we got brothers that's cool because G-Ra over here, he cool. But I'm saying overall, Africans don't like you like that. Africans is based on tribalism. They don't like each other in Africa. What make you think they're going to like you? You're a different tribe. They deal with tribalism. Just as a general or a leader, you're supposed to lead your people in the right way. And you're supposed to know that you can't do nothing to help Africans. You're supposed to know that if you're a general and who you're a general of. Because Pharaoh Seti, if he's General Pharaoh Seti, he's supposed to be the general for foundational Black Americans, which ain't got nothing to do with no Africans. But he ain't leading foundational Black Americans nowhere. Where is his leadership as a general? He can't even lead us to reparations. Said he ain't even leading us to reparations, because why would you go and attack Tariq right now? That's revolutionary suicide. You breaking the rules. We got a brother out here trying to mobilize and give us a title. Now you got his name in your mouth hating on him. I just went live and seen Mav Hoffa talking to Vlad TV. Said he might as well go on there with Mav Hoffa and Vlad, the way he ratting us out as foundational Black Americans. One thing I know about Big Pharaoh, listen, a leader like this, I'm here. I'm doing my thing. Foundational Black Americans say, we want reparations for we FBA. What a real leader going to do? A real leader going to say, bet that, we FBA. Bet. A leader is not just a leader is a rider. They're going to ride with their people. A leader not going to live amongst their people and go against their people for no concept. Africans is going to ride with their people. They be standing on, so this ain't anti-Africans, because Africans going to stand on they. Let me tell you something, Nigerians going to be Nigerians. They ain't never going to turn on Nigerians. They might got a beef in Nigeria because this one is a Muslim and this one's a Christian or different tribes. But when they come somewhere like over here, they ain't going to do like how we do. The Black man in America, the only one, don't ride with his people in the whole world. The Mexicans, the Venezuelans, the Europeans, the Chinese, everybody else gonna ride with theirs. Foundation Black Americans, we the only ones that got rats that pick apart our own movements. Ain't no way I'm putting Pan-Africanism over the money they stole from my ancestors in slavery. Period. Ain't no way. We have to stay united. We can't listen. This ain't anti-African because we can't help Africa if we ain't united. And they know that. If Nigerians come in and see we not united, we can't do no good for them. Africans is never going to respect you if you're not united. That's a fact. Look, when I was young and I went to school, it was me and my sister a year younger than me. And my mother taught me one thing. She said, if you go up to that school with your sister and you let them kids pick on your sister and you don't stand up with your sister, them kids going to pick on you. The only way them kids going to respect you is if you make them respect your sister. And the only way anybody going to respect foundational Black Americans is if we stick together. Africans are not going to ever respect us until they see us united. When they see us united for what we got to do, that's when Africans will say, y'all need to come over here. Don't know Africans, won't know SETI over there that ain't standing 100% 10 toes down with foundational Black Americans. They would look at SETI as a rat. If Africans seen SETI say something against Tariq, when Tariq is applying pressure, the Africans would say SETI is a rat. And they would always choose Tariq over SETI. Even though it looked like Tariq is beefing with the Africans are going to ride with Tariq more than they're going to ride with an ass kisser. Facts. They ain't never going to like SETI unless he 100% 10 toes down for reparations. If there's any way where he's wishy-washy with reparations, they're going to look at him as a snake and a loser. Period. And in any military, he'd get his stripes ripped off of him for that. Tariq is not disrespecting Africans. He's only disrespecting tethers, the ones that want to come over here, pretend they us and hate us. Them the ones he's going after. He not disrespecting Africans. He disrespecting tethers. And tethers are people that attach themselves to you but don't like you. See, a tether is something you attach. Africans definitely respect Tariq. You mean they don't like Tariq. So you don't know the difference between respect and like. So you saying the wrong words. What's your name? My TH for real? No. They don't like Tariq, but they respect Tariq. Because every day, more and more Africans are siding with FBA. Every day. Every day, Africans are saying, I understand, I understand, I understand. Tariq and this FBA movement is converting Africans. This is a fact. Tariq is converting. Y'all got to understand, people don't know what FBA is. So they only hate it because they don't know what it is. But when they find out it's just lineage, the Africans going to ride with that. The only people don't like it is people don't understand what it is. It's lineage. That's it. It's just lineage. That's all. It's just lineage. That's all. Once people find out what it is, they're going to support it. And they ain't got no choice but to support it because we don't give a damn. We got to do what we got to do. We don't care. We're not looking for friends. We're looking for reparations. But here's the thing. We've already been called Black Americans. FBA is the same as Black Americans. FBA is Black Americans with foundational in the front. That's it. This is what you tell people when they say, why you FBA? Tell them FBA is Black Americans with foundational in the front. We've been Black Americans. We just added foundational. Foundational Black Americans, which means we the ones been here. That's all. If G-Rod gets his citizenship and he Black and the American citizen, he'll be a Black American. He just won't be no foundational Black American. If an African come here, two Africans, a man and a woman, and they get pregnant, they had a baby here, that baby will be a Black American. That baby won't be no Nigerian. That baby will be a Black American because you called by your citizenship. And that baby will be a Black person with American citizenship, which technically they will be a Black American. In order to protect ourselves, we start calling ourselves foundational Black Americans so we won't get mixed up with other Black Americans. Because people don't understand, American is just your nationality. America is not your lineage. So you could be a Black Cuban. Cuban would be your nationality. You might not necessarily be a Cuban person, but if you become a citizen of Cuba, okay? So a lot of people don't understand the difference between nationality and lineage. So sometimes your lineage and your nationality is the same thing. So sometimes your lineage is Mexican and you're a Mexican citizen. See what I'm saying? So you're a Mexican by lineage and you're a Mexican by citizenship. But if I moved to Mexico and become a citizen, my nationality is going to be Mexican. I'm going to be a Black Mexican based on nationality. And people get the difference between lineage and nationality mixed up. They don't understand that American is your citizenship. You're not an American, you're an American citizen. They would be considered tethers or anchor babies. No, anchor babies are people that specifically came here to have a baby to exploit the country. An anchor baby is not no people that came here and just happened to have a baby. Y'all stop giving out false information and misquoting Tyreek. You understand? They trying to make it like you saying just any baby, but it's not an anchor baby. There was people getting pregnant and flying here on purpose to have their baby here. Listen, let's take a break. Y'all got to study. Anchor baby is a term that the news media made up because there were people intentionally getting somebody pregnant from Asia and everywhere, Europe too, to come here, have the baby, and now the baby get free services. But the people never paid no taxes. Your country will go broke like that. You can't have people come and trick the system to become citizens. So anchor babies come from the news media. This anchor baby started about when I first started seeing anchor babies on CBS and all that. I would say about maybe about 8 years ago, 8, 9 years ago. 8, 9 years ago is when I first started seeing news media stories about anchor babies. That's really a thing. It don't mean just call anybody to come here and get pregnant and have a baby. It's not an anchor baby. An anchor baby is people that really anchored their baby to the system, that's gaming the system, that's getting pregnant on purpose and get here at the right time to have the baby so the baby could get benefits. That's like for real though. Europeans and a lot of people was doing it. A lot of people was doing it. Your country will go broke. You can't take care of babies and the relatives never paid no taxes. So people that didn't pay no taxes, right? And they would get citizenship. So you come over, time it just right, boom, she get pregnant, have a baby, now she a citizen. She ain't got to go through the baby and ain't got to go through nothing. Now they get all these rights as a citizen. So they was gaming the system. That's why Trump is trying to get rid of birthright citizenship, because it was a scam. It wasn't that it wasn't accidentally done. Yes, they were using benefits particularly for us. Yes, taken away from us and our tax dollars that we paid to help our brothers and sisters. Yes, it was straight fraud. Yes, it was. So a lot of people don't understand, Jonathan, this is not anti-African. And people just think this has nothing to do with being anti-African or anti-Caribbean. That's not what FBA is. It's not that. That's not what it is. It has nothing to do with that. It's not about being anti no brothers and sisters nowhere. It's people got butthurt because we trying to get reparations. And let me tell you something. Y'all be outside. So we're not gonna play crazy. So you know that if you're around your family and you hit the lottery and get money, people start hating. So you know the real deal with FBA is that people feel that if we get reparations, we get all this money, we'll be doing better than them. It's just that simple. And they don't want us to get money and be doing better than them. Because in America, that's a big thing. So it's people do not want us to get this reparations and watch us do well. Because the hate and the jealousy will come in, regardless if we owed it. And everybody knows that. They're just playing stupid. That even though we gave that money to Umar, when Umar was asked about reparations, he said, don't give it to us because it's a waste of money. Because he don't want to see us get nothing. You understand? They don't want us to get reparations. White Americans don't, a lot of white Americans don't want us to get reparations because people don't want you to see you doing better than them. The last thing they want to see is some black person that live on their block get a big old check from the government, get a new car, fix up their garage, fix up their home, buy a home. That's what it's really all about. It's really all about just straight jealousy. And it's also about not having no sense of economics. Because everybody in America should want foundational black Americans to get reparations. Because if we get reparations, everybody get paid. And this is how jealousy could hurt you. Because the people that's blocking us from getting reparations are losing money. Facts. I'm watching white Americans be stupid and don't want us to get reparations. If you run all the business in America, why would you want black Americans to get a whole bunch of big checks? Because when black Americans get big checks, they just can't open up places to do cement. They just can't open up places to do roofing. So who gonna get the money for the new roof? Who gonna get the money for the painting? Yeah, some black business, but white businesses too. Because we don't call based on black or white. That's a fact. I'm the realest alive. We do not call based on black and white. I'll give you the perfect example. I'm at my father's house taking care of my father. I go downstairs, the basement is flooded. I need somebody to come and get this water out the basement. I go to search the plumbers. I call the first one in this area. They can't come until Thursday. I call the next one. They'll call me back and don't. I call the third one. We could be there in 45 minutes. That's who coming. Are they white? Who cares? Are they black? Who cares? We just need the water out the basement. So in real life, we call based on what emergency or what we got going on. We ain't got time to, ain't got time to, you understand? We ain't got time to pick who we want to get this water out of this basement. So if it's a white dude gonna be here in 30 minutes, and it's a black dude say he could come in 2 hours, the white dude gonna get the job. I need the water out the basement. You know what I'm saying? So white America, by being the dominant businesses, you know how much money they'll get from reparations? Which black folks would be crazy to not want to spend that money with them, because that's what you call an economy. An economy is like blood and you need circulation. So if black folks get money for reparations and spend it in the system, black folks going to get that money back. That's going to have money to provide jobs. That's going to have money that come back to you. That money just going to circulate. It's going to create an economy in America. It's not a bad thing. But don't nobody explain that to white America. Reparations is the greatest thing America could ever did. If America do reparations, they won't have to go into a cashless society. The country, reparations to Foundation for Black America will save this country. We'll put this country on the top. Facts. It'll benefit everybody in the country. Because ain't nobody going to stop buying Chinese food if they like Chinese food, but they're going to buy more Chinese food. Everybody going to get money. Black folks going to be starting businesses, and black folks going to be spending money. The country will be popping. What you look like, and you're an auto dealer, and you ain't pushing for reparations. All the auto dealers should be saying, please give black people reparations. They're going to buy cars. All the home builders and realty companies should be telling the president, give black people reparations so we can sell these houses. Everybody will win. Facts. Some people say we need black businesses. No, we don't need black businesses. We need black business people to open black businesses. All people are not business people. When you run a business, it's you got to do it 7 days in a week. You think about business. Some people just want to go to work and go home. They don't want to run no business. So when people say we need to start business, no. You don't need to start no businesses. It's only for business people. Everybody don't want the responsibility of no business. Some people want to put in their 40 hours and go home and go play. When you run a business, you don't do 40 hours. If you run a business, you're not doing 40 hours. You're not doing no 8 hours a day. You're doing at least 10 hours a day, and you're going to do at least 2 or 3, 4 hours on the weekend. You're going to do 50, 56 hours at least. You understand? I don't want tax relief. I want money. I don't want no free college. I want money. When we picked that cotton, they sold it for money, right? When we picked that cotton, they got money and didn't give us our money. So when I look at the situation and I look at all that cotton our relatives picked, I see a whole lot of money we didn't get. What y'all see? And they didn't even pay these brothers. You see these gangsters? No, we shouldn't have to pay no taxes on reparation. Why would I charge you taxes on reparations when you're going to buy a bunch of stuff and pay taxes on what you buy? Sometimes hate, Brother Quasi, sometimes hate makes white America make bad decisions. If you're going to give these people all this money and they're going to buy all this stuff and they're going to pay taxes on all this stuff, how much tax money they going to make? You know what I'm saying? You know, you know how much tax money you going, because you pay sales tax. Do you know how much sales tax money that is coming in? Because if they buy a car, they got to pay sales tax. If they buy a house, they got to pay tax. They're going to be paying mad tax anyway. This is the hate. Hate is destroying America because they don't even know that hate is stopping them from making a good move. Reparations is the best economic move white America could ever make. Now, if all the businesses in America was black and you gave black people reparations, I could see white people tripping because then we would just spend it with blacks. But because the businesses in America are white, how is giving black people money going to hurt white America? It's not. It's going to kick off the economy big. Black folks going to be at restaurants, buying liquor, buying clothes. Everybody going to win. Now your daughter, she go to get a job. They say, yeah, come on here. Why? Because we really busy. We just had one person in here selling shoes. We need 4 people in here selling shoes. I mean, if they're worried about us being on the golf course rather than get money, they crazy. Because ain't nobody going to go on the golf course but some uppity blacks is on the golf course anyway. Black folks ain't getting no reparations to go try to learn how to play no golf. That ain't going to happen. There's going to be some black people that's going to try to buy homes in nice areas. Most black people are going to fix the homes they live in. Facts. And as far as a whole bunch of people buying a whole bunch of stuff, that's not going to happen either. A lot of people, because they was broke, going to save their money. They not. The idea that everybody going to throw their money away is also false. They're assuming people going to throw their money away from people that never had no money to save. So if you got people that's just making it from paycheck to paycheck, how could you determine what they're going to do with their money when they've never had any money to save? So I would like anybody on any TV show to tell me, how can you come up with any idea of what black people are going to do with money that black people never had before? Not necessarily. Not necessarily, Quasi. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. A lot of brothers going to buy trucks, going to buy vans, going to buy what they like. Only the ones that like Benz going to buy Benz. Somebody that don't want no Benz ain't going to buy no Benz just because they get no money. That's all projection, Quasi. With no, think about it. There's no scientific proof of any of that. That's a probability type thing. They really don't know what black people are going to do when they get the money. You would have to show me socially where it happened before. But if it never happened before, that's all assumptions. Basically. But me knowing black people, nah, they ain't going like that. Only some people going like that. You understand? Only some people going like that. A lot of people ain't going to want to buy nothing until they sit down and think. The idea that black folks just going to go and throw money away, they're going to go buy a little bit of stuff. It's going to be dependent on how much the award is. But at what point do you owe somebody that you got the right to determine what they can do with their money? And so I'm like this. I don't care what you do with it, because reparations is not nobody paying you to do nothing righteous. Reparations is a debt owed. At what point can I tell you what to do with a debt that's owed? If somebody owe me $10,000, that ain't got nothing to do with me doing nothing righteous with it. Just give me my money. So a lot of black folks is taking a debt and trying to turn a debt to get paid into some type of righteous construction. It's a debt, period. You do whatever you want to when somebody owe you and pay you. So we got black people shooting their own self in the foot, coming up with all these crazy ideologies on the debt. It's a debt. And when you get it, take it from Big Pharaoh. When you get it, do whatever you want with it. You ain't going to hear me say nothing. It's your money. That ain't none of my business. If you want to buy 20 Benzes, how is that my business when it's a debt? But people trying to take, this is where they make a mistake. Come out. The money could get rid of the wealth gap. They should stop saying that shit. Why do a debt got to get rid of the wealth gap? Keep it on what it is. It's a debt. That's it. I don't like that. Oh, we get the money, it could get rid of the wealth gap. Man, later for that. I hate that. When people trying to philosophize on top of it and all that. You're so busy philosophizing what to do with it, you ain't even standing on getting it. My grandmama always told me, catching come before killing. Let's catch the money first. Do what you want to do with it. Let's concentrate on getting it. You know what I mean? That's it. A lot of people going to give the church big money. A lot of people going to give money to the schools. A lot of people going to give money to charities. A lot of people going to buy food for homeless. A lot of good things are going to happen. A lot of people are going to be scared to spend their money. If you ever been poor, a lot of people, when they get money like that, they don't ever want to be broke again. They're not going to do nothing to be broke in the real world. In the real world, we go out, we start hustling, we get a shoebox. We get a little 8-ball, we sell it. We get a quarter, we sell it. We work our way up to four zips. And we putting that money in that shoebox. And all we want to see is that money go up. We do not want to see that money go down. A lot of us. We don't want to see that money go down. You got people like me, I could have $10,000 saved up. My wife want to do some stuff. I spend $2,000. So now I got $8,000. Boom, I make $2,000. You know what I say? I don't say I got 10,000 again. I say, dang, this would have been 12. My queens always hated me for that. Because if I got 10,000, I spend 2, and I get the 2 back, I always be saying, dang, I would have had 12. I don't be happy because I got the 10 back. I still be kind of crying over that too. I'll be like, man, that would have been 12. Then I get another 2. I said, that would have been 14. When I get to 18, I'd be like, I'd be at 20. I'd be at 20,000 if I didn't spend that too. And my queens would be like, you need to stop. So a lot of people, they ain't gonna throw their money away. Sometimes money make you save money. Money don't always make you throw money away. That's false. But my thing is buy whatever you want. Because you might spend something with me. So I ain't going to tell you don't spend it. I'm going to be trying to sell you something. So I know me. I get reparations. I got stuff for sale. If I got a car dealer, I got no problem with you coming in and buying 5 of them. It's cool. Cool. Come and get 5. Come get one for everybody in your family. In the real world. Because one thing about it, you can't take it with you. So live your life. Some people want to save it and pass it down. Some people want to spend it and pass down the stuff they got. But that's on you. You got to live your life. When it comes to wealth and stuff like that, sometimes people got to get it out their system. So they might gotta blow 50,000 and get it out their system. So they might get, if they get 500,000, they might gotta blow 100,000 before they calm down. But they'll be all right. They'll still have 400,000. And the ones that blow it all and ain't got no money, they got stuff they can sell back. If you get $500,000 and you blow it, you didn't really blow it. You can sell that stuff back. So out of 500,000, you can get at least 200,000 back. So you ain't. Sometimes you can get more because you bought a house for 200,000, and now you can get 300,000 for it. So you might make more money selling stuff back, depending. But the key is to get it. You understand? Head gear punchy. The key is to get it. I would never say like Dr. Umar said to say y'all gonna mess the money up. That's foul. Because somebody there was a debt owed, and that's it. You don't owe me nothing that you have to do with the money. The only one owe us is the system that didn't pay our ancestors. We don't owe each other no explanation on how we're gonna spend it. Pay the debt so that could be water under the bridge. I wouldn't care if they gave us the money. I wouldn't care if we spent it all in 2 years. The fact of the matter, they paid the debt. Now we can move on. The money is insignificant. The debt is pay back what you did. That's all. That's all. They said, well, dang, won't blacks go broke? No, because some of us blacks going to have our money invested. We'll be able to hire you. You know what I'm saying? Some of us will be able to hire you. I do that all the time on there. The buttons be moving down there. You go to push one person, then it go, yeah, I know, it's crazy. I do it all the time. Well, I know if you give me some reparations money, it depends on how much my kids getting. So if my kids don't get it, then that's going to be some money to them. And I can't tell you what I'm going to do. I can tell you this. I said I'm not going to do nothing. You know, I would advise you, don't buy nothing for 8 weeks. Breathe. So when I get my money, I'm not going to buy nothing for 8 weeks. But at 8 weeks, whatever I want to do, that's what I'm going to do. If I want to go to Mars, I'm out of here. I'm go to Mars to come back. So I don't really care. Because to me, it's all about a debt owed. It ain't about what I got to do with the money. Just give me my money. Don't worry about what I'm going to do with it. Because I know people that save money, bought nice investments, passed away, and their kids blew it anyway. So the question is going to go, do you want to blow it or you want your son to blow it and your daughter? Because it might get blown anyway. You know, passing down money. You know what I'm saying? Pass down money to your knucklehead kids. You ain't in the grave, but before you get in the grave, they done messed it up. I'm just saying. So one thing to do is like to put it somewhere where it's going to grow, where it's going to get interest, where they can't touch it, like in a family trust fund. And all they could do is get payments from the family trust fund. That's probably what I would do. That's what Hershey and Ford and them do. Hershey and Ford and them got their money in the trust fund, and so much money go out to the family every year. The rest of the money sit there and grow. And that's how you can have generational wealth. By having that money in a trust where they can't touch it and having your will and everything specified and the trust fund specified, this money is to sit here. And they can only get so much. Basically. You have a trust fund, put your insurance policy in there, go buy a big ass insurance policy. $3 million, $5 million insurance policy. Put it in the trust fund. Now the trust fund worth $5 million. Now you ain't got to spend none of your reparations money because you can borrow off of that. So trust me, black folks is gonna be doing magic with that money, especially with social media. Because we got brothers on social media and sisters gonna be giving us good advice as soon as we get it. Okay, y'all. That's why I love social media. Y'all already know. Brothers and sisters gonna be on social media telling us everything to do. Now don't y'all mess that money up we finna get next month. Go do this and go do that. And we gonna listen. They gonna show us how to get stuff free. Ain't that baby lane? Them social media people gonna show you how to get the car and keep your money. This is what you do. You get an insurance policy for $3 million. You put it in the trust. Then you take a loan against that and you buy the car. You know what I'm saying? They go down, you know what I'm saying? It's a way to get the car. It's a way to have your cake and eat it too nowadays. On my soul. It's a way for the money to buy everything you want. The money just sit there. Hey, Jonathan, and nowadays they give us that money, we'll live off the interest. On my soul. I know me. I know what I'm gonna do with some man. I'm gonna be playing. I'm gonna be, I see some ladies tonight that should be having my babies. We go, shorty, you kind of broke, you struggling. I tell you what, get pregnant, have this baby. I give you, depending on how much money they give me. I give you $500,000 to have my baby. One time payment. I got. Depending on how many million they gave me. If they ain't give me that much, maybe it's only $250,000. Depending on how much they give me. But I'll pay for some babies. Buy me some babies. They already have little trust funds and stuff. The baby have, as soon as the baby get 18, the baby got money. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We're going to get reparations. We got to push for it. You know what I'm saying? We got to push for it. Would I move to Africa? I don't think so. I don't know. I would probably move to Texas, where the tax, I'd probably do like 50 and move to Texas. I'll probably do all my taxes from Texas, from what I understand. I definitely probably won't be no Illinois citizen no more. I'll be a citizen of good old Texas. I'll be in good old Dallas. Whoever is not going to tax me. So I definitely will be moving quick, like 50. That's why everybody got the hell out of California and went where they didn't have to pay all them property taxes. So first thing I'm going to look is who don't got no crazy property taxes. That's where, on paper, that's where I live. Now, I'm still in Chicago, but on paper, I live and there's no high property tax place. Florida trying to get rid of property tax, but I had moving to Florida because them hurricanes and stuff be tearing them people's houses up. and now they insurance is too high because of all them natural disasters. Now Florida's out the question, boy. They got too many natural disasters, too many hurricanes. My house get tore up down there. Really, be honest, I might move to Shreveport since 50 down there getting things popping. I might move to Louisiana because that might be the big city of the future. That I can get a nice little house for hardly nothing and just be chilling, be right where all the action's at. So I might be trying to move to Shreveport if I get reparations and start getting me a business going down there. Because it looked like Shreveport going to be the black city of the future. On my soul, Crown City. On my soul. But I'd definitely be trying to pay some shorties to have babies. I try to get me like a couple sons and daughters out the deal, especially sons. I tell you what, baby girl, I get you pregnant. You have a girl, I give you 100,000. You have a boy, I give you 250,000. Sign right here on the dotted line. Okay, now touch your toes. Put your knees on your elbows. You know what I'm saying? I just say, all the real. I give me some babies out the deal. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got no future if you ain't got no children. Yeah, you ain't got no future. If you ain't got no sons, you don't got no future. Your daughters is cool too, but you get them away in marriage. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, fame. I want to live forever. See, every time I have a boy, that's my reincarnation. For the brothers that want to learn higher knowledge. Every time I have a son, when you put your bloodline in this woman, and she have a boy, right? I'm gonna give y'all some game before we go. You meet a woman, you a man, y'all get together, y'all have sex, she get pregnant, she have a girl. When she have a girl, she just reincarnated. So she just came back into the world with a little bit of your personality. So sex go like this. She see you. It's something about you she like. She gonna grab some of that and put it in her life. So when she have sex with you and she have a girl, now what she done, she's come back into the world with some of those qualities that she like from you. Same way you see a woman, you have sex, you have a boy. It was something about her you liked. So when she have a boy, you just reincarnated and now you're back with some of the personality that you like from her. And this is how you stay here through your DNA. So I got 3 sons and a grandson. So it's me, 3 sons. So I'm here 5 times. You know what I'm saying? If I got a lot of money, I try to get here another 3, 4 times. But I'm here 5 times already. You understand? You don't think you might come back, but you, your mother, do you got any sisters? Because if you got any sisters, then you already here twice. Punchy. And it gets deeper than that. It goes all the way back. If your mother got some sisters, that's all y'all the same person. That's why the scriptures say what? Be fruitful and multiply. Multiply don't mean to turn into 8 different things. Multiply mean take one and make 8 of that same one. So any lineage on your side of women, you already here. But then again, if I get the money, you know what I'm saying, you might have a baby, Punchy. 400,000. We can fix that. We can make that happen, boo boo. We can punch that chi. Hey, we can punch that chi. I'll punch that chi. I'll punch that chi. If your brother got children, if you and your brother is your daddy. So if your brother have a son, your daddy's still here. He just didn't come here through you because you was already here twice, right? So my sons and my grandson, I'm already here 4 times besides me. That's 5 times. So them 4, as long as some boys come out of them, then I'm still here. And then this go back to my daddy, his daddy, his daddy, his daddy, like that. Same person. You never leave here as long as you be fruitful and multiply. You know what I'm saying? Because you live through your DNA. And so what happens is your DNA, so a woman get pregnant, there's a soul in that DNA, and that soul will find that baby. So that's why sometimes, Punch, you ever see people have a baby and they be like, you look just like your auntie. That is the auntie. Because if it's the bloodline from the auntie DNA is in the soul finds the DNA. So anybody got that DNA, they soul could enter to the body of the baby. And you'd be like, you look just like your grandmother. Who you think it is? So I mean my daddy's brothers or anybody with that same bloodline from my granddaddy, they can enter into that newborn baby. You'd be like, dang, man, he look just like Uncle Sidney. That's who it is. Because the DNA is out there. And then it finds the physical body. Thanks, King Pix. You understand? So you never leave here. The bottom line is you never leave here. Everybody is still here. You never leave here. And when they say be fruitful and multiply don't mean take one and make 8 different ones. Multiply mean take one and make 8 of that same one. So when the Most High say be fruitful and multiply, that's basically high level cloning. Be fruitful and clone. That's what multiply mean. Multiply don't mean make 8 different ones. Multiply mean make 8 of you. That's why high level they say all people on the planet is brothers and sisters. Because you are. But that's the whole, I ain't gonna get into that. But everybody here is related from the same source. There is nobody here from another source. All that white people from somewhere different. No, they not. No, they not. The only difference between white people and black people is climate. That's the only thing. That's the only difference. Facts. The only difference between black people and white people is the climate. That's it. That's the only difference. All that other stuff they be talking, that's all make believe. All that, you know what I'm saying? All that stuff they be saying about different people and all that, man, all that's make believe. All that's make believe. That's a fact. The only difference between people and they is the climate. When the Pangea happened, and when the Pangea happened, then that's when everybody turned different. You feel me? Everybody turned different when the Pangea happened. You understand? Real talk. That's when everybody turned different. It's all facts. Because the whole world used to fit together. You know what I'm saying? Racism, all that's nonsense. It's all nonsense. Ain't no difference, man. It's nonsense. The people that ain't studying. You know what I'm saying? There you go, right there. So when they floated apart, you know, one turned black, one turned brown, one turned white. You end up with all different type of species and adaptations based on the climate, size changes, all that. Because I think a polar bear way more than a grizzly bear. I think a polar bear is the biggest bear in the world. But they eat a whole bunch of fat, bunch of seals and stuff. So I think the polar bear is the heaviest bear in the world. So that's how you get Chinese and Europeans and all that. From climate. As a matter of fact, when we was children, every time I went down South to Alabama for 3 weeks and come back, I'd be black as hell. Everybody like, where you been? Boy, I be looking like a Hershey chocolate bar when I get back. If I was in the South, outside, I'd be darker than this. Yep. The Tower of Babel fell. And then over time, of course, they're going to speak different languages. So you have to change the language when it fall and y'all drift. And then y'all on these different land masses, then y'all spread out on these land masses, you're going to start talking different. Let's take foundational Black Americans. What we say in LA, we don't say that in Chicago. We talk different in Florida. We talk different in New Orleans. We talk different in Texas. Tell me I ain't lying. We talk different. We talk a different language. So imagine if you further away. That's all happened by nature. So after so long of splitting up, yeah, you end up talking different, looking different, and all that. Eating different, functioning different. It's all natural, you know what I mean? But that's enough of that. I hope y'all enjoyed the conversation. Support the channel. You know what I mean? Much love to everybody. You know what I'm saying? Make sure if you're out here doing Thanksgiving, make sure you eat a whole bunch of vegetables, right? Make sure you eat a whole bunch of vegetables and drink some natural drink. Don't drink no bunch of sodas. Eat a whole bunch of vegetables to help you digest that turkey and stuff. So eat a whole bunch of vegetables. That's very important, y'all. One reason your older relatives didn't get as sick as we get is because they ate a whole bunch of vegetables that helped their digestion. They didn't eat they didn't eat mac and cheese and bread. They ate string beans, collard greens, mustard greens, turnip greens, rutabagas, sweet potatoes, corn on the cob. And anybody knows that corn gonna make your stomach empty. And that was real good corn. They don't have corn like that no more. So when your relatives ate corn, automatically their colon gonna empty. Because corn is gonna flush your colon for sure. So make sure you eat a lot of vegetables. Make sure you eat a lot of vegetables. And, enjoy yourself with the family. You know what I'm saying? Enjoy yourself with the family and do your thing. You know what I'm saying? And ladies, send your pictures. All right, ladies? Send your beautiful pictures. All right? Victory.